10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from the Bulwagang Apolinario Mabini. Welcome to the 122nd anniversary celebration of the Department of Foreign Affairs and the 2020 Conferment of Awards. Hello everyone, I am Kate Sarmiento from the Office of Asian and Pacific Affairs.
And I am Rainier Padua from the Office of ASEAN Affairs. Joining us on stage are the Honorable Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., the Undersecretary for Administration, J. Eduardo Malaya, and the Undersecretary for Civilian Security and Consular Concerns, Brigido J. Dulay. Wherever you are right now, a pleasant morning, afternoon, or evening to all of you.
Before we begin today's program, Mayor Ren and I request everyone joining us today to please rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. Ms. Maria Cecilia A. Caparas will lead the singing with officers and staff of Port Moresby PE, headed by Ambassador Bienvenido V. Tejano.
Bayang magiliw, meron sa sinagalan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyang ka ng magiting, sa manlulubig, di ka masisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bagaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagtitingting. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Luwanag araw ng ating magsinta, ay langit sa piling ko. Aming ligaya na pag-ay mga hapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, Port Moresby PE. Again, welcome to all our viewers and thank you for your presence on this occasion as we give recognition to the outstanding and exemplary personnel of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Our theme for this year's anniversary is the Resilient and People-Centered DFA and Philippine Foreign Service for a stronger, free, safe, and united Philippines. Now, we wish to show everyone watching at home or wherever you may be the senior management officials of the Department of Foreign Affairs. May we kindly request all our senior officers to wave to our viewers or perhaps do the finger heart sign.
If you're joining us online, may we request you to use the hashtag DFA122years. Again, hashtag DFA122years when posting comments or uploading any posts or photos on your social media accounts. To officially commence the program, may we invite the Undersecretary for Administration and the Chairperson of the Praise Committee, Undersecretary J. Eduardo Malaya, to deliver his opening remarks and to introduce the Secretary of Foreign Affairs.
The Honorable Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., Undersecretary Brehedu J. Dulay, Assistant Secretary Antonio Morales, the Undersecretaries and Assistant Secretaries of the different offices of the Department of Foreign Affairs, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat at maligayang bati sa ating mga kasamahan sa Home Office o Ka-Asyana, Consular Offices sa buong Pilipinas at mga pasuguan at Konsulado General ng Pilipinas sa buong mundo. Isang karangalan sa akin na batiin kayo ng masaya at makabuluhang pagdiriwang ng kaarawan ng ating kagawaran ng ugnayang panlabas. This is the second time for me as Undersecretary for Administration to welcome you to DFA Day. What a difference a year can make. Last year, there were some 600 of us and more in this hall in our finest barong and Filipiniana. Today, there are just a few of us, mostly members of the organizing committee and the technical staff, in keeping with health and safety protocols. Nonetheless, some of us thought that we need to be here in person and live. Otherwise, the millennials may think that this program is being run by AI, Facebook, or YouTube. Friends, our DFA is a resilient organization. As our department's mission and vision ordains, ours is a resilient foreign service for a strong Philippines, unquote. Indeed, the DFA in its long history has always been a robust, proactive, and resilient. Our founding father, Apolinario Mabini, whose birth date we commemorate today, discharged his function as Secretary of External Relations and concurrent President of the Revolutionary Government's Council of Ministers, or Prime Minister, at a time of war. Due to disability from polio, he had to move from place to place on a hammock. 3 decades later, Claro M. Recto, Foreign Minister under the Second Philippine Republic, carried out his responsibilities under an enemy occupation. Through tact and skill, he and President Jose P. Laurel were able to avoid the conscription of Filipinos into the enemy army. They implemented various measures that spared our people from many unspeakable sufferings. We of this generation should remember to honor Recto in the same manner that we honor Mabini, Elpidio Quirino, and Carlos Romulo. So this year, turning crisis into opportunity, the DFA organizing committee decided to harness technology and conduct a blended commemoration on-site as well as virtual, enabling us to reach out to not only to personnel in the Home Office, but also in the consular offices nationwide and the Foreign Service posts. And I wish to also, greet our beloved retirees who are watching this afternoon. We hope and pray that you and your family are doing okay. The organizing committee, led by Mr. Andre Stanislao, included in the program musical performances and a literary reading to lift up our spirits and bring joys to our heart at this most difficult of times. In fact, from the looks of it, and if you have seen the program, today is not the usual DFA recognition day. It is looking more like a FAMAS or Oscar Awards night. But let us see. And those who are watching this program should just be the judge. And I understand that there are upwards of 500 currently watching us on the various media platform of the DFA. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a tradition at DFA Day to look back on what we have accomplished collectively the past year and give recognition to those among our personnel who distinguished themselves in the service of our country and people. The Secretary of Foreign Affairs will mention many of these accomplishments, but allow me to cite a few, including on the administrative side of our work. The DFA opened 6 new foreign service posts last year in Rabat, Istanbul, Stockholm, Barcelona, Melbourne, and Nagoya, in order to enhance relations with priority capitals and regions and expand our capability to attend to the needs of our community members. We had intended to add 3 more this year with authorization from Congress, but these openings will have to await better times. We conducted the Global Conference of Heads of Posts, GCHOP, in October last year, thus ensuring that the activities of our foreign service posts are aligned with the priorities of government and responsive to the needs of our people. The theme of the global conference, Innovating the DFA to Strengthen Resilience, was prescient as it anticipated challenges like the pandemic we now face. The primary product of our consular services is the passport, and we have ensured all these times efficient and courteous service, shortened processing time, no delays in securing appointment dates, and open for service, rain or shine, even at a time of pandemic. And may I add, Undersecretary Dulay ensured that all of these are done. DFA issued over 4 million passports last year. That's almost like 11,000 passports issued every day. The Office of Consular Affairs also streamlined the consular authentication process with a shift to the apostille system, bringing cost savings and much convenience to overseas Filipinos and Philippine businesses. The government's network of care for OFWs encompasses from the time that they are deployed, when they are working overseas, and whenever the need for them to come home. Last year, the DFA facilitated repatriation of 141,000 Filipinos across the globe. This year, as of last week, some 90,500 overseas Filipinos benefited from the department's COVID-19 repatriation efforts. Almost every day, there are foreign service posts making arrangements for repatriation flights for our people, often on special charter. Our job is never easy, and at times at the risk of our personnel's health and safety, but it is part of our sworn duty and must be done to the best of our ability. We have enhanced the quality of our management systems and reinforced the culture of continuous improvement among our people. Just last week, the DFA was granted a recertification as compliant with ISO 9001:2015 standards. In doing all this, it is not our intention to be thanked nor to be recognized. We do this because we took a solemn oath to serve our country and people, and we have committed ourselves to live by the department's core values of patriotism, integrity, professionalism, excellence, service, and love of country. Today, we will give recognition to some of our colleagues whose exemplary work have brought honor and pride not only to themselves, but also to the department. In the course of our program, our senior officers will present those who will receive the following award categories: Best Organization, Outstanding Employee, Assistance to Nationals Award, Loyalty Award, Felipe Agoncillo Lifetime Achievement Award. For this year, we will also honor colleagues who have served with dedication and selflessness in the department's measures to address the pandemic, particularly in the repatriation of OFWs. Finally, the DFA will recognize personnel who have made significant achievements outside of official work. After all, we wish to nurture well-rounded personalities among our personnel and encourage excellence in whatever field they may be interested in, whether in literature, the arts, or sports. It has been said that we Filipino diplomats, and I guess all Filipinos for that matter, need to always look to our true bearing in order to achieve for ourselves the prosperity, security, and self-confidence that we all aspire for. We can find our true bearing in our flag, our constitution, our values, our national interest. Only with them as lodestars can we face and rise up to the challenges of the time and be worthy heirs of Apolinario Mabini and Jose Rizal. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just been informed that at the Congress of the Philippines, there has been a resolution filed congratulating the Department of Foreign Affairs on the celebration of its 122nd founding anniversary and commending its men and women for their selfless and dedicated and distinguished service to the country and their fellow Filipinos during this time of pandemic. The authors of this draft resolution, which is expected to be passed also today, are Alan Peter S. Cayetano, the Speaker, Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Paulo Duterte, Maria Laarni Cayetano, L. Ray Villafuerte, Neptali Gonzalez II, Dan Fernandez, Loren Legarda, Abraham Tolentino, Jose Antonio C. Alvarado, Eric Yap, Ramon Abu, Ann Hofer, Divina Grace Yu, Samantha Luis Alfonso, and Bienvenido Abante Jr. Certainly, we thank our friends in Congress for this great honor. So, friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to our DFA program. And at this juncture, it is my honor to introduce a civil servant par excellence, a public intellectual, and a rock star on Twitter, the Honorable Teodoro L. Locsin Jr. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang DFA. Maraming salamat po.
Honored guests, colleagues in the department, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Today, we are all here, not quite in person, but without a doubt in full solidarity, as we celebrate the 122nd anniversary of the Department of Foreign Affairs. This great occasion is celebrated on the same day our first Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Apolinario Mabini, was born. In his memory, in his honor, we will be recognizing our colleagues who have shown extraordinary dedication in fulfilling the mission of this department. Despite the many drawbacks and the many challenges faced by Mabini and our fledgling short-lived republic, including the physical disability from polio, he rose to the occasion by sheer strength of will, intelligence, and an understandable love for a country to which he helped to give birth, his baby, our country. Within days of the declaration of our independence, Mabini received the mandate to organize a government along with the task of securing recognition of the new Philippine Republic by other states. In short, he was tasked to begin and complete from a wheelchair the internal workings of a new sovereign nation, asserting itself in a world on the eve of world war, international revolution, and vast technological change, straight from a dying anachronistic empire in the modern age. Facing all that with the pride and accompanying responsibility of an independent state among the world's great powers. It was the first republic in Asia, indeed the first democracy, if you count fighting and dying in huge numbers as the higher equivalent of a democratic vote. It was the first of the many independent states yet to be born after another global conflict. Stuck in his chair, he did not take his duties sitting down. He had his orders. He had his work set out for him, and he had himself and got it all done. The result is DFA today. Celebrating DFA's anniversary on the same day as his birthday is a tribute that is also a continuing challenge to the competence and commitment of our 3,868 personnel, especially in a global pandemic, which adds another layer of complexity and burden to our already complex and difficult work. Where our consular personnel used to be happily burdened by the volume of people requiring their services, especially passports, thank you, Consular Affairs, they now have to find ways to provide these services within the constraints of community quarantine or limitations imposed by host governments. Where our assistance to nationals and repatriation teams had dug deep into reserves of emotional fortitude to help and comfort overseas Filipinos in trouble, they must now offer the same within the limits of physical distancing and mandatory limited numbers at a time, all while burdened with the safety and care of their imperiled families, friends, and selves. Where we all simply went to office in cars and public transport, we now walk out of our homes breathing in air that could, with just enough neglect, kill us. Still, we persevere. As I said a month ago, our stubborn insistence on keeping true to our oath is what builds an institution we can all be proud of. It is what makes us an unstoppable force in the face of an enemy, no matter how large and seemingly immovable, or in this case, no matter how small yet widespread, elusive, indeed undetectable, and deadly. We responded to the pandemic not by minimizing our efforts, but by doubling down on our commitments. As of July 9, we repatriated 75,549 Filipinos from all over the world, and 1,400 from Lebanon this morning, from the time the global pandemic was declared in March. Our other assistance to national services never slackened. We have continued to provide consular services to Filipinos. For example, issuing 147,435 passports in the same period. Internally, we made sure to take care of our own people, our most valuable, indeed, our only asset. We gave offices discretion in deciding which alternative working arrangements would best balance the demands of work and the safety of our personnel. Our finance, human resources, IT, and other administrative support systems tirelessly extend assistance to effectively enable us to continue our work in this perilous situation. As to diplomacy, while deeply rooted in traditions, the DFA immediately adapted to the circumstances and exploited tools that allowed us to carry on. We mounted and took part in at least 26 bilateral and multilateral meetings in the last 3 months, using technology some other foreign ministries are only now discovering. And it is not like we had the most or even the best technology available. In fact, quite the opposite. If I did this live, you wouldn't hear or see me. As Secretary of Foreign Affairs, I have signed 6 agreements in this pandemic. We continue to heighten our awareness of issues affecting the Philippines and Filipinos the world over, while pushing the national interest on all fronts. This showed us and other countries that where there is the will, there will be work done and progress made. The virus is relentless in conducting its business. So are we. One of us is copying the other. We get our orders, we get to work, we get things done. A pandemic of achievements. A year ago, on this same occasion, I remarked that the DFA's work is not easy. A year on, it still isn't. If anything, the pandemic has revealed how much harder it can be, not just in a pandemic like this one, but in other global catastrophes to come, like international conflict. We can, we will go on, until the lights go out in our country and the world. I could not be prouder of the uninterrupted and undeterred service each of you continues to provide our countrymen in this exigent time. I know how valiantly you try to conquer your own fears each day. For some of you, most times putting your lives at risk. Thank you, Umwa and Oka. I thank you all for your selflessness, courage, and compassion for our fellow Filipinos. I salute the men and women of the DFA who have given more than was asked of them. While the pandemic is a misfortune for all, we take solace in the fact that we have colleagues whose achievements we fittingly celebrate on the same day as Mabini's birthday. We are glad that it is with them we stand our ground to face this pandemic. Others would have buckled to their knees. So please, I invite everyone to applaud and congratulate our awardees for this year, using whichever method or technology you prefer. Our eyes may not see the standing ovation. Our ears may not hear the applause, but our hearts will beat as one in gladness and pride as one DFA. Happy 122nd anniversary.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary and Mr. Undersecretary, for those very inspiring words. Once again, we clap our hands and give our praise not only to the recipients of this year's awards, but to each and everyone who has exhibited resiliency and fortitude in these times. As the Secretary mentioned, it is a pandemic of achievements. In line with our tradition of service, Ren and I would like to share that in cooperation with the Philippine Red Cross, a bloodletting drive was held here yesterday at the DFA. A big thumbs up to all of those who donated and took part in such a worthwhile activity.
On this occasion, we recognize the loyalty and dedication of our personnel who have committed years of their lives in service of our country and the Filipino people. At this point, may we call on Assistant Secretary Antonio A. Morales to present this year's loyalty awardees.
Happy DFA Day to all. Today we celebrate the 122nd founding anniversary of the Department of Foreign Affairs. For the first time, we are holding a blended face-to-face and a virtual celebration that will bring together people in the Home Office, in the different consular offices, and in our foreign service posts. We mark this occasion in extraordinary times, for we are celebrating against the backdrop of a pandemic that has affected almost every nation and every continent in varying degrees of severity. But amidst this unprecedented challenge, one in over 100 years phenomenon, we will not be deterred from observing this event. For on this occasion, we also take time to recognize and honor the loyalty and dedication of our colleagues who have committed a significant part of their lives in the service of our country and our people. Working in the department is a gratifying, albeit not an easy fit. We are constantly met with opportunities as well as challenges that might have taken a toll not only on our work but also on our personal lives. But through it all, the men and women in the department have stood their ground and surpassed these adversities with grace and professionalism. That alone is an achievement in itself, as others would have sent in their papers and quit only after a year or two of being exposed to this. Staying with the department for years, in some cases, decades, is a triumph in its own class. That being said, our loyalty awards are much more than just tenure. Any person with enough patience can stay in an organization, cruise leisurely for years, and cash in when their mandatory retirement age comes. What differentiates our people is not just their willingness, not only to stay, but their tenacity to outperform themselves year after year. And today, we take the time to pause, celebrate, and acknowledge and appreciate our colleagues for staying with us for all these years, despite the odds, and to continue to contribute significantly in making the department what it is today. To our loyal colleagues, we applaud your performance and we are deeply grateful to all of you. Your talents and efforts have helped us achieve excellence in developing a stronger, more resilient foreign service. In accordance with CSC Memorandum Circular Number 42 Series of 1992, loyalty awards shall be granted to an officer or employee who has completed at least 10 years of continuous satisfactory service in the particular office granting the award. Our loyalty medalists will receive a cash incentive depending on the number of years of their service. I shall now read the citation for the award. This certificate of recognition is awarded to for having dedicated a number of years of loyal and committed service to the Department of Foreign Affairs. Given this 23rd day of July 2020 in the city of Pasay, Philippines. Signed, Teodoro L. Locsin, Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. I now have the honor to present this year's loyalty medalists, starting with those who have served for 40 years. Number 1 in the list, and I shall continue, Abara Diosdado Edodolion of Jeddah, PCG, Batuon Garcia Jocelyn Singson of Oslo, PE, Bautista Alicia Sabile, ISU, Bautista Violeta Di Mayuga of Frankfurt, PCG, Bayo Lilia De Gracia of Oka, Bernabe Reginald Sangle of Lisbon, PE, Bernardo Renato Dizon of the Oka NCR Northeast, Kali Abdullah Pakura of CO Baguio, Komaya Eulogio Galot of OFMS, Corpus Divina Karina Dadwa of Dili, PE, Exaltacion Aurelio Jr. Libinting of Tokyo, PE, Herbacio Danilo Francisco of Jeddah, PCG, Magallones Nestor Cadiente of Honolulu, PE, Manalo Enrique Austria, OUP, Mangondato Ako Jr. Lagahit of Riyadh, PE, Palala Olivia Valera of Omwa, Pangilinan Maria Fe Tanabe, Budapest, PE, Pataunya Edna Luna of Kuala Lumpur, PE, Ramos Angelica Fernandez of Singapore, PE, Santos Jeril Galban of Houston, PCG, Season Edgardo Cruz, Canberra, PE, Solano Marcelino Jr. Ardesa, Dhaka, PE, Tan William Fetalbo, San Francisco, PCG, Thomas Cecilia Sanchez of New York, PM, Thomas Rennie Pascual, New York, PM, Tuason Agnes Hilao, OCA, Yambao Jerry Tulud of Geneva, WTO, and Yambao Maria Luisa Samson of Milan, PCG. Congratulations to all of you. I also have the honor to present our loyalty medalists who have served in the department in various lengths of service. The names of our esteemed colleagues shall be flashed on the screen. For 35 years, for 30 years, for 25 years, for 20 years, for 15 years, and for 10 years. As you have just seen, due to the number of loyalty awardees this year, we have decided to celebrate and memorialize the awardees in a microsite which you may all view anytime by accessing this link on our screen right now. Congratulations to all of our loyalty awardees, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you, Assistant Secretary Morales, and congratulations to 794 recipients of the DFA Loyalty Awards.
And now, for the conferment of the Outstanding Employees and Best Organizations Awards. This year, we have 15 outstanding employees and 5 best organizations. May we invite Undersecretary J. Eduardo Malaya to announce this year's awardees.
Magandang hapon muli sa inyong lahat. This is my second time to speak before you. But firstly, I just would like to inform our viewers that there are nearly 1,000 people watching us online, 960 to be exact, and that is not counting those who are watching as a group. And I'm sure there will be more who would be watching this program subsequently. I was having a side conversation with the secretary a few minutes ago, and he observed that what we're doing here is like producing a television show. Okay? And indeed, this is the first time that we are doing a program like this at the DFA. And certainly, we at DFA can do something like this. If you guys at home or in your offices like what you are seeing, we have the DFA Day Organizing Committee to thank for. And that committee is headed by Andre Estanislao as chair, and Marco Frederick Harder, and Sheila Marie Andales of HRMO as vice chair, and supported by a millennial group, all young, all talented, all hardworking. So, while you're in your homes and offices watching, please give them a big hand, even though quite silently. Now, going back on script, the Department of Foreign Affairs consistently encourages extraordinary acts of service from among its officials and personnel. The offices and individuals we cite in this category have gone beyond the call of service, which enabled the department not only to achieve its targets, but to surpass them. From the day that the Employee Suggestions and Incentives Award System, which is the forerunner of the PRAISE program on awards and incentives for service excellence, was instituted in the mid-1990s, the DFA has sought to recognize superior accomplishments of offices and individuals through the Best Organization Award and Outstanding Employee Award. For this year, I have the honor to present the Best Organization Awards to 5 organizational units, and this is something that is much coveted here at the DFA, and they are as follows. Number 1, Office of ASEAN and Pacific Affairs, ASPAC, for their exemplary and efficient hosting, supervision, and handling of the diplomatic, substantive, and administrative aspects of crucial high-level meetings, inbound and outbound bilateral visits, and dialogue mechanisms, including on issues pertaining to the West Philippine Sea. Second, Office of Consular Affairs, for their implementation of the Apostille Convention, the ISO's recertification of their management processes, and the continuous innovations and improvements in passport and consular services. Third, Office of Policy Planning and Coordination, OPPC, for their efficient preparations for and successful hosting of the 2019 Global Conference of Heads of Posts, GCHOP, its significant support to the DFA annual budget presentations and preparations, and its key role as the Secretariat of the DFA Task Force on Pandemic Threats. Number 4, the Office of Treaties and Legal Affairs, OTLA, for its conduct of innovative programs and projects, notably the training seminars on the law of the sea, the interagency workshop and consultations on the proposed Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, and its co-hosting of the 7th Biennial Conference of the Asian Society of International Law, ASIL. Lastly, number 5, the Philippine Embassy in Manama, Bahrain, for its innovative financial assistance program for OFWs and its significant contributions to the adoption of the Global Compact on Migration. I have also the honor to present the Outstanding Employee Award to 15 personnel. Let me read the citation. The Outstanding Employee Award is presented in recognition of significant accomplishment, dedication, commitment, and exemplary performance of duties in the Department of Foreign Affairs, which are worthy of emulation by colleagues. Given this 23rd of July 2020 in the city of Pasay, signed Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. For this year, the following are the outstanding employees of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Number 1, Hana Sulaika Abubakar, Office of ASEAN Affairs. Christine Joyce Alegre, Office of Consular Affairs. Charity Bejerin, Office of Asset Management, OWAMS. Jaymar A. Cabrera, Office of Policy Planning. Jasmine De Guzman of the Philippine Embassy, Tripoli. Vincent Emil H. Chavez, Office of Human Resources, HRMO. Jennifer Guo, Philippine Consulate General in Shanghai. Bea Crisel Gonzalez, Office of Consular Affairs. Christine Joyce Larocco, Office of UN Affairs, UNIO. Ruel Peña Florida, Philippine Embassy, Canberra. Rosalyn Rochette Sol, Philippine Mission to the United Nations, New York. Mimi Laney Tan, Philippine Consulate General, Hong Kong. Cheryl Tubuhan Usaraga, Office of Asset Management, OWAMS. Maricel Vallesfin of the Philippine Embassy, Brunei. Congratulations to all of our awardees. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you once again, Undersecretary Malaya, and congratulations to our outstanding employees and best organizations for 2020.
Today, we also pay tribute to the gallant men and women of the department for their exemplary service in upholding the DFA's mandate to protect the rights and promote the welfare of our fellow Filipinos overseas.
This year, we have 11 awardees for the ATN individual category and one awardee for the group category. May we invite Undersecretary for Migrant Workers Affairs, Sara Lu Y. Ariola, to present this year's awardees.
Today, we would like to pay tribute to the gallant women and men of the department for their exemplary service in fulfilling the DFA's third pillar of Philippine foreign policy, our mandate to protect the rights and promote the welfare of our fellow Filipinos overseas. The department's Assistance to Nationals Award was institutionalized through Department Order 2502, dated December 9, 2002, otherwise known as the DFA's Program on Awards and Incentives for Service Excellence. ATN Award, Individual Category. The Assistance to Nationals Award, Individual Category, has two levels. Level 1 is for personnel who have done extraordinary achievements while deployed to war-torn areas, and Level 2 is for those who have rendered exemplary accomplishments in line with their ATN duties. Awardees for each of these levels will receive a medal and a plaque. I shall now read the citation of the award. This certificate of recognition is awarded in recognition of the awardee's exemplary performance, selfless service, and unwavering commitment in providing responsive and efficient assistance to national service for the protection and promotion of the interest and welfare of overseas Filipinos. Given this 23rd of July 2020 in the city of Pasay, signed Chidoro L. Locsin Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor to present this year's Assistance to Nationals Awards, individual category, to the following personnel of the department. Divina Carina D. Corpus, Dili, Philippine Embassy. Richard R. De Los Santos, UMWA. Isa Muhammad Molfe Ahmad, Aman PE. Fatima Guzman Quintin, UXI. Patrick Gio Lozano, UMWA. G. Marie F. Mortel Ladrica, UMWA. Ronimar F. Napao, Dubai PCG. Joel B. Oronan, Hong Kong, Special Administrative Region, Philippine Consulate General. Hazel Joy P. Panong Kalabukal, Tokyo PE. Hataman N. Paraman, Brunei PE. Johaira C. Wahab Manantan, Kuala Lumpur PE. ATN Award Group Category. The Assistance to Nationals Award Group Category awardee is given to the group or team who collectively exemplified outstanding and noteworthy contributions in performing their tasks over and beyond the call of service, in protecting the rights and promoting the welfare of our fellow Filipinos overseas. The recipient of this award will receive a plaque signed by the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. It is my honor and privilege to present the ATN Award Group Category to the DFA COVID-19 Mega Swabbing Center team, who heeded the call of the national government to show solidarity in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. Truly, the individuals of the DFA COVID-19 Mega Swabbing Center team are living and breathing embodiments of the notion that victory over the virus can only be achieved if we work together and heal as one nation. I shall now read the citation for the award. This plaque of recognition is presented to the DFA COVID-19 Mega Swabbing Center team in recognition of the team's volunteerism and substantial contributions to the mass bar encoding of test results of over 25,000 repatriated overseas Filipino workers at the Polymerase Chain Reaction Mega Swabbing Center at the MOA Arena in Pasay City from May 12 to June 9, 2020, given this 23rd day of July 2020 in the city of Pasay. Signed, Chidoro L. Locsin Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Congratulations to all our Assistance to Nationals awardees.
Thank you, Undersecretary Ariola, and congratulations to the ATN awardees for 2020.
At this point, we would also like to announce that Ms. Karen B. Terrado of the Consular Office Tacloban is also an Outstanding Employee Awardee. Our viewers, Kate, we take a break from the conferment of awards for an intermission number from the latest batch of Foreign Service officers who have joined the department.
Ren, you know that includes both of us, right? Today, Batch Liab Laya has prepared a performance of the song Sige Lang by Quest.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the special performance of FSO Batch 27, Batch Liab Laya.
Ito na naman tayo bagong simula. Huminga ng malalim, alisin ang kaba. Tapos na ang kahapon, pwede na yung itapon. Huwag lang ang mga aral, dapat yan ay bangon. Katulong mo sa panibagong hamon. May paparating na bagong araw, pwede kang lamunin, pwede mong sabayan. Yung aral ng kahapon, pwede kanyang gabayan. Kung ako sa'yo, tumayo ka na dyan. Huwag ka na magpahuli, kami sundan patungo sa aliwanag. Abutin ang tala, pagkatapos makita sa mundo, pusong nagbabara. Ang lahat ay magmumula sa aking susunod, para sa lahat ng aking dala. Huwag mabahala, ako ang bahala, kasalanan si Bathala.
Walang imposible, sige lang sige. Abot mo ang mundo, malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa dulo, ano man ang subok, di susuko. Alam kong kaya mo, sige lang sige, sige lang sige. Walang imposible. Nag-ibig ang pangarap ng iyong puso, umihiling. Nakalimutan ng kahapon, sana'y limig. Sigaw ng aking puso, hindi susuko, hindi susuko. Ilabas ang iyong pangarap, huwag mo yang itatago. Samahan mo ng sipag at tatag ng puso. Bilis ka sa iyong sigla, ikaw ngayon ang bida. Wala nang pipigil pa, ito na, ito na. Walang imposible, sige lang sige. Abot mo ang mundo, malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa dulo, ano man ang subok, isusubok. Alam kong kaya mo, sige lang sige, sige lang sige. Walang imposible. Sugon lang laban ka, sugon lang laban ka. Pangarap abutin, umistap tulad ng mga bituin. Sige lang, di ka nag-iisa. Sige lang, sige pa. Walang imposible, sige lang sige. Abot mo ang mundo, malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa dulo, ano man ang subok, di susubok. Alam kong kaya mo, sige lang sige, sige lang sige. Walang imposible. Sige, abot mo ang mundo, malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa dulo, ano man ang subok, di susubok. Alam kong kaya mo, sige lang sige, sige lang sige. Walang imposible. Sige lang sige. Abot mo ang mundo, malapit malayo, sama-sama tayo. Hanggang sa dulo, ano man ang subok, di susubok. Alam kong kaya mo, sige lang sige, sige lang sige. Walang imposible.
Sige lang, sige.
Thank you to our batchmates, Batch Liab Laya, for that wonderful performance. With all the adversities happening in the world right now, let that song be a reminder for us that we should never lose heart.
Next, our consular office in Tacloban has prepared a production for us to enjoy. I have to highlight the fact that this song titled Karana is actually their original composition. Written in Waray-Waray, this song celebrates the Waray-Waray culture and their trait of resiliency towards facing trials. They are considered maisog or matapang, but also hopeful and fun-loving.
Wow, this song is their own composition. The department is indeed full of artistic and talented people. Ren, I'm very excited to see this. Everyone, let us give a round of applause to CO Tacloban.
Pagkagina kita, tara, di pinasinirangan. Marisyo na ating pagpuyan, waray-waray ikayukan. Bisin mga kakuray tagian, waray-waray mag-isog man gunman. You can smile all you want, in tulog, duha, usa. Karana ay napag-imukukot, problema ato na tubangon. Nagdaliyo na mapadayon, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na. Karana ay napagulat, la 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 la. Anan kita may ginaagian, paglaong aking kinahanglan.
Virus na di makitang COVID-19 andaran.
Di ka nagkabubuwason, kumibigay ang may buhaton. Tindo, let's make a change in tulog, duha, usa.
Karana ay napag-inukukot, problema ato na tubangon. Nalibaliw na mapadayon, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na. Karana ay napagulat, la 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 la.
Sangkay, ayaw kabudlay, ayaw gihap ikaw pagmahay. Ining tanan kay may katapusan, kalmala, ining masusolusyonan.
Karana ay napag-inukukot, problema ato na tubangon. Nalibaliw na mapadayon, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na. Karana ay napagulat, la 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 la. Karana ay napag-inukukot, problema ato na tubangon. Nalibaliw na mapadayon, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na, ano pa itingin na. Karana ay napagulat, la 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 la.
Wow! Thank you, CO Tacloban. The energetic, hopeful, and fun-loving Waray-Waray culture has truly been showcased in that performance.
Next, the department will be conferring the Felipe Agoncillo Lifetime Service Award on 7 retiring or retired career chiefs of mission and the special citation by the Secretary of Foreign Affairs on 1 honorary consul. May we invite Undersecretary for Policy Enrique A. Manalo to announce this year's awardees.
Today, we also recognize and acknowledge the committed efforts of our career chiefs of mission who head our offices and foreign service posts and who have encountered numerous challenges as they advance Philippine foreign policy in their respective areas of responsibility. Providing one's service to a country through a career in the foreign service is rewarding. However, work in the foreign service also entails considerable personal sacrifice. The constant uprooting of families, the demanding workload, which may put a strain on relationships, and more. Sometimes, though some may perceive a career as a diplomat as glamorous, the work may also entail putting oneself in harm's way. It takes exceptional leadership and skills and balancing career and family to become a chief of mission, representing the country abroad in advancing Philippine foreign policy. It is now my great pleasure to present the notable awardees for the Felipe Agoncillo Lifetime Achievement Award. Pursuant to Department Order Number 0999, implementing Executive Order Number 398, issued on 16 April 1990, the Department will be conferring this award to the retiring or retired career chiefs of mission who have consistently exhibited outstanding qualities of leadership, exemplified the DFA's core values of patriotism, integrity, professionalism, excellence, and service, and have contributed substantially to the advancement of Philippine interests in the bilateral, regional, and multilateral areas. I shall now read the citation for the award. This Felipe Agoncillo Lifetime Achievement Award is presented in recognition of exceptional accomplishments, the performance of duties, and substantive contributions in advancing the interests of the country and the Filipino people in the performance of service as foreign service officers in various capacities of the Republic of the Philippines. Given this 23rd day of July, 2020, in the city of Pasay, Philippines, signed Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. This year's FALSA awardees are Elizabeth P. Buensuceso, Apasayan; Generoso D. Calonge, Mawao; Wilfredo R. Coyugan, Shanghai, Philippine Consulate General; Oscar G. Orsine, Manado, Philippine Consul General; Olivia V. Palala, Omwa; Maria Fe T. Pangilinan, Budapest, Philippine Embassy; and Lourdes O. Iparagire, Uwir. Now, in addition to our colleagues in the department, honorary consuls form a valuable part of the Foreign Service, serving in areas where circumstances constrain our ability to establish a full-time mission. Honorary consuls also face difficult tasks in their performance of their consular service duties, while at the same time taking the job wholeheartedly, but in some cases making personal sacrifices to further the cause of the department and the country. This year, the Praise Committee has decided to confer a special citation to an honorary consul who has steadfastly dispatched his duties for more than 24 years. It is my honor to present the special citation to Consul General Etienne Albert Brechet ad honorem for his valuable contributions to the Philippine Foreign Service, and I shall now read the citation for the award. This certificate of recognition is hereby presented to Etienne Albert Brechet in recognition of his accomplishments, performance of duties, and contribution to the advancement of Philippine interests and the welfare of the Filipino people as Consul General ad honorem in Luanda, Angola, in the last 24 years. Given this 23rd day of July 2020 in the city of Pasay, Philippines, signed Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Congratulations to all our esteemed colleagues.
Thank you, Undersecretary Manalo, and congratulations to our 7 Chiefs of Mission and to Honorary Consul Etienne Albert Brechet.
The department's COVID-19 response has proved how indefatigable our ATN services are. Just to give you an idea, the department has facilitated the repatriation of a total of 98,522 overseas Filipinos on board 500 flights. So today, we also honor the valiant acts of one organization, 71 foreign service posts, and 13 DFA personnel who have been part of the department's COVID-19 response. May we invite Undersecretary for Civilian Security and Consular Concerns, Brigadier J. Dulay, to present the awardees.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our colleagues. In these unprecedented times, when the world we knew had been turned on its head by a pandemic, our courageous women and men in the department toughed it out to assist and repatriate our distressed people when others were too fearful or hesitant. Even in the domestic front, our heroic personnel volunteered themselves in the face of uncertainty and at great risk to their personal safety and well-being to support the national government's efforts in mitigating the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. That is why the DFA Praise Committee has decided to recognize the dedication, the efforts, the sacrifice, and the patriotism of offices, teams, and individuals who were at the front lines of the department's COVID-19 response. The following special awards will be given. First, Special Best Organization Award in recognition of COVID-19 response efforts, and Special Citation for repatriation efforts in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to present the Special Best Organization Award to the Office of the Undersecretary of Migrant Workers Affairs, headed by Undersecretary Sara Y. Ariola, in recognition of their unwavering commitment to render assistance to national services in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Allow me to read the citation. This Special Best Organization Award is presented to the Office of the Undersecretary of Migrant Workers Affairs in grateful recognition of the unit and its personnel's exemplary performance, selfless service, and unwavering commitment in providing timely, responsive, and efficient repatriation of affected Filipinos in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, including in providing guidance to foreign service posts, conducting repatriation and related services, given this 23rd day of July 2020 in the city of Pasay, Philippines, signed His Excellency Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Now for the special citation for repatriation efforts in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, I have the honor to present this award to the following recipients. The first recipient of the special citation for repatriation efforts in light of the COVID-19 pandemic are the following 71 foreign service posts, whose names I will be reading one by one. Philippine Embassy in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Philippine Embassy in Abuja, Nigeria. Philippine Embassy in Amman, Jordan. Philippine Embassy in Ankara, Turkey. Philippine Embassy in Athens, Greece. Philippine Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq. Philippine Embassy in Bangkok, Thailand. Philippine Consulate General in Barcelona, Spain. Philippine Embassy in Beijing, China. Philippine Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon. Philippine Embassy in Berlin, Germany. Philippine Embassy in Brasilia, Brazil. Philippine Embassy in Cairo, Egypt. Philippine Embassy in Canberra, Australia. Philippine Consulate General in Chicago, United States of America. Philippine Consulate General in Chongqing, China. Philippine Embassy in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Philippine Embassy in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Philippine Embassy in Dili, Timor-Leste. Philippine Embassy in Doha, Qatar. Philippine Consulate General in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Philippine Consulate General in Frankfurt, Germany. Philippine Consulate General in Guangzhou, China. Philippine Embassy in Hanoi, Vietnam. Philippine Consulate General in Hong Kong, China. Philippine Consulate General in Honolulu, United States of America. Philippine Embassy in Islamabad, Pakistan. Philippine Consulate General in Istanbul, Turkey. Philippine Embassy in Jakarta, Indonesia. Philippine Consulate General in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Philippine Embassy in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Philippine Embassy in Kuwait, Philippine Embassy in Lisbon, Portugal. Philippine Embassy in London, United Kingdom. Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles, United States of America. Philippine Consulate General in Macau, China. Philippine Embassy in Madrid, Spain. Philippine Consulate General in Manado, Indonesia. Philippine Embassy in Manama, Bahrain. Philippine Consulate General in Melbourne, Australia. Philippine Embassy in Mexico City, Mexico. Philippine Consulate General in Milan, Italy. Philippine Embassy in Moscow, Russia. Philippine Embassy in Muscat, Oman. Philippine Consulate General in Nagoya, Japan. Philippine Embassy in Nairobi, Kenya. Philippine Embassy in New Delhi, India. Philippine Consulate General in New York, United States of America. Philippine Consulate General in Osaka, Japan. Philippine Embassy in Oslo, Norway. Philippine Embassy in Paris, France. Philippine Embassy in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Philippine Embassy in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. Philippine Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa. Philippine Embassy in Rabat, Morocco. Philippine Embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Philippine Embassy in Rome, Italy. Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco, USA. Philippine Embassy in Seoul, South Korea. Philippine Consulate General in Shanghai, China. Philippine Embassy in Singapore. Philippine Consulate General in Sydney, Australia. Philippine Embassy in Tehran, Iran. Philippine Embassy in Tokyo, Japan. Philippine Embassy in Tripoli, Libya. Philippine Consulate General in Vancouver, Canada. Philippine Embassy in Vientiane, Laos. Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C., United States of America. Philippine Embassy in Wellington, New Zealand. Philippine Consulate General in Xiamen, China. And last but not the least, Philippine Embassy in Yangon, Myanmar. Okay, there's more, there's more. Ito mahirap pag live eh. Mahirap pag live. The second recipient of the special citation for repatriation efforts in light of the COVID-19 pandemic are the 13 personnel who volunteered to support UMWA as part of its augmentation team. I will be reading their names one by one. The first, Thomas Philip C. Aquino of Tokyo PE. Sunny Darren B. Beharin of Shanghai PCG. Peter John V. De La Fuente of UMWA. Mark Anthony Z. Gegera of Shanghai PCG. Kevin Mark R. Gomez of UNIO. Eloisa Katrina V. Madamba of Otlang. Maria Lia Karen S. Magtibay of OFMS. Francis Maynard S. Malion of UX. Charlie V. Nabo of UA. Raymond C. Ondiano of Oscar. Romel T. Kilang of OSEC. Geronimo Suligin Jr. of MOAW. And Francis Ramon B. Torres of OMEA. Congratulations to all of our awardees.
Congratulations to the recipients of the special citations for COVID-19 response. We will be taking a break from the conferment of awards to announce the opening for membership of the Department of Foreign Affairs Ladies Foundation, a non-profit organization committed to enriching the lives of the members of the Philippine Foreign Service and the community.
Being a member of the DFA Ladies Foundation not only entitles you to the perks as seen on the slides, but also gives one the opportunity to develop unity, promote camaraderie, and generate esprit de corps, and to contribute to the physical, intellectual, and social development of other members.
For everyone interested in becoming a member, go ahead, reach out to the DFA LF through any of the means listed here for your convenience. We have today Ms. Catherine Rose G. Torres, one of this year's recipient of the special recognition of personal achievements in other fields. Ms. Torres is currently posted at our embassy in Berlin, Germany as First Secretary and Consul. She is previously posted in India and Singapore.
Ms. Torres is a 3-time Don Carlos Palanca awardee for her works, The Rag Picker's Son, Cafe Masala, and Niche. Her other work, Sula's Voyage, was a finalist in the 2014 Scholastic Asian Book Awards. She grew up with a profound love for reading and writing and believes that diplomats are effective storytellers because they help shape the Filipino narrative and present it to the world.
Ms. Torres will be reading to us her original essay titled Bridges in a World of Walls, which narrates the various paradoxes in and surrounding the life of a Filipino diplomat. Everyone, let us welcome Consul Catherine Torres.
Dear Mr. Licare, first, a confession. For the longest time, until a francophone friend straightened me out, I had mispronounced your pseudonym as John Licare. The accent at the end escaped me despite 6 units of French in college. Your real name, David Cornwell, is far easier on the tongue, but somehow feels less real to this reader than your nom de plume. Anyway, Mr. Licare, I seem to be in a confessing mood like one of your antagonists, Marcus Lorbeer. This time, this. I saw The Constant Gardener on film a decade before reading your novel. I love the movie, and why it should have taken me so long to pick up the book is beyond me. I was doing my cadetship as a newly minted diplomat, and I went to see it with my batchmates after class one Friday. about diplomats. We whispered excitedly when the facade of the British High Commission in Nairobi flashed on screen. I guess we expected to be treated to a preview of the lives we would lead once we got posted overseas. But the film portrayed diplomats as a sordid, scheming bunch. Not all of them, of course. Mr. Quayle, helpfully played by Rafe Fiennes, came across as a decent human being. Though socially awkward, someone more comfortable with his plans than other humans. Still, it was something of a shock and I left the movie house teary-eyed. Would you believe me if I told you I once thought I could change the world like Justin's wife, Tessa? When I was a 5th grader, a friend and I put up a club, Sisters Against the Destruction of the Earth. It lasted for a couple of weeks, and we never got around to our first project, which was a cleanup along the banks of Marikina River. After university, I found a corporate job in a Makati skyscraper. I felt I'd seen that world and quit only 10 months later. When my head cleared, I applied for a job in an international NGO for children. I made it as far as the final stage of selection, where we had to stay with farming families in Isabela for a couple of nights. I was doing pretty well until the teenage son of my host family disappeared on the second day, leaving a note saying he'd gone off to Manila to try his luck. I remember thinking the NGO had staged it to see how I and the other candidates would react. I kept waiting for them to debrief us, but they never did. It turned out to be real. I wasn't too upset when I didn't hear about the job. Instead, I joined the Foreign Service after a brief stint at the business newspaper. For my first posting, I volunteered to go to India, eager to contribute to global peace and understanding, starting in the land of yoga and satyagraha. But diplomacy is a strange business. Many of us enter the service to, at risk of it sounding like an answer to a beauty pageant question, make the world a better, more peaceful place. To, as you described when you joined the British Secret Service, sublimate ourselves in something socially useful. Yet, our daily tasks often leave us disconnected from these lofty aims. How do you retain your belief in the goodness of people and the desire to bring them together in a global group hug when your ATN work confronts you with your kababayans who face difficulties, even abuse at the hands of foreign employers or partners? How do you navigate between the dual roles of encouraging foreigners to visit your beautiful archipelago and sometimes having to deny their visa applications? How do you change the world when you couldn't even figure out how to change some entries in your OPCRF? Those are some of the questions I grapple with, Mr. Lecare. From India, I had been cross-posted to Singapore, done home duty in Manila, then been assigned in Berlin, where I am now inching close to my 5th year, and I'm still struck by the many paradoxes of this profession. But sometimes, as I ride my bicycle on the way to work and pass by the Holocaust Memorial, or by the remnants of the Berlin Wall, I am reminded why we are here. You would know you were posted back in your MI5 and MI6 days at the British missions in Bonn and Hamburg during the Cold War, a war you wrote many books about. When it did end, it did so because a wall fell and borders and bridges were thrown open. Walls are of course far easier to build than bridges. The latter must defy gravity. Perhaps especially at a time when many nations are reinforcing borders and erecting new barriers, something aggravated by the pandemic. That's what we diplomats are doing, taking down walls one brick at a time and defying gravity by building bridges with them. One brick, one ATM case, one consular Sincerely yours, Catherine.
Thank you, Consul Kathy. That is a beautiful and moving essay.
I agree. And for us in diplomacy, that is exactly what we try to do, build bridges. Before we proceed with the final set of awards, we will have a pleasure of watching another performance from Foreign Service Officers, Batch 9, in celebration of their 20 years of loyal service to the department and to the country. Batch 9 proudly presents the song Nais Ko by national artist Ryan Cayabyab as an offering of inspiration to all DFA personnel in these trying times.
Similar to the earlier performances, the next intermission is also pre-recorded as it will be performed by 3 career diplomats who are now in different parts of the globe. Singers Ms. Ivy Banzon Abalos, who is currently in Geneva on scholarship, and Mr. Pete Raymond Delfin, First Secretary and Consul of Brunei PE, with Ms. Maria Antonina Mendoza Oblena, Deputy Chief of Mission and Consul General of Copenhagen PE, on the piano. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give them a round of applause.
Nais kong maihip ng hangin, walang patutungan. Parang ibong wala ring hangarin, kundi ang lumipad ng lumipad. Nais kong lumipad.
Nais ko ring maagos ng alon saan man mapadpad. Kahit na isdang mumunti nangari, lumangoy ng lumangoy. Nais kong lumangoy. Nais kong malibot ang mundo sa kanyang kasuluk-sulukan. Nais kong makita ang paligid kong puno ng kagandahan. Nais kong makatama ng kakaibang damdamin kahit minsan man lang.
Habang ako ay may buhay, wala nang hangarin pang tunay. Nais ko, nais ko. Nais kong maulit ang buhay kung may pagkakataon.
Upang mamala sa mga bagay-bagay na di ko natanto sa aking buhay.
Nais kong maulit pa, ulit-ulitin pa ang buhay ko. Nais ko rin maagos ng alon saan man mapadpad.
Kahit na isdang mumunti nangari, lumangoy ng lumangoy. Nais kong lumangoy. Nais kong malibot ang mundo sa kanyang kasuluk-sulukan. Nais kong makita ang paligid kong puno ng kagandahan. Nais kong makadama ng
kakaibang damdamin kahit minsan man lang. Habang ako ay may buhay, wala nang hangarin pang tunay. Nais ko, nais ko. Nais ko maulit ang buhay kung may pagkakataon.
Upang mamala sa mga bagay-bagay na di ko natanto sa aking buhay.
Nais kong maulit pa, ulit-ulitin pa ang buhay.
pa, ulit-ulitin pang ang buhay ko.
Thank you for that spectacular performance, sir and madam. Keith, listening to that song now with the ongoing COVID-19 crisis made me ponder on things that we've always taken for granted, from traveling and visiting places that bring joy to us, to as simple as physical interactions with our friends and family, things that are now restricted by this pandemic.
That's true, Ren. I hope that soon enough, we will be able to enjoy those things again and cherish the company of our loved ones, especially those that are far away from us. We shall now proceed to the conferment of special recognition to DFA personnel on their achievements in other fields. Such achievements are testament to the versatility and well-roundedness of the department's personnel, which are qualities we truly take pride on.
May we invite Undersecretary for Strategic Communications and Research, Ernesto C. Abella, to present this year's awardees.
A hallmark initiative of the DFA Praise Committee for 2020, these special awards aim to recognize personnel who have made significant achievements outside of their official work in the DFA, such as in the fields of culture and the arts, sports and athletics, social and community advocacies, and in other fields. By establishing this special recognition, we aim to highlight the idea that DFA personnel are well-rounded individuals, capable of excellence not only in their respective capacities in the department and the Foreign Service, but in other fields as well. It is hoped that by recognizing achievements in other fields, our personnel may be inspired and encouraged to explore and use their talents to their fullest potential. Our maiden roster of recipients is a collection of passionate individuals worthy of praise and emulation, not only within the DFA, but from the outside as well. 8 will receive special commendations from the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and 11 from the Undersecretary for Administration. It is my honor, therefore, to present this year's awardees for the special citation by the Secretary of Foreign Affairs. The awardee shall receive a framed commendation signed by the Secretary. One, Vicente Vivencio T. Bandillo, CM2, Dhaka, PE. 2019 received the Don Vicente Soto Memorial Award for Literary Excellence, which made him one of the finest Cebuano writers in the post-World War II era. 2016 to the present, head panelist of the Cebu Creative Writing Workshop. 2009, conferred the Writer of the Year Award by the Bathalanong Halad sa Dagang Bathalad, Sugbo, the country's oldest active literary organization founded in Cebu. 2006, conferred the Outstanding Cebu Poet Award by the Bathalanong Halad sa Dagang Sugbo, or Bathalad. 3-time awardee of the Focus Annual Writing Contest for his poems in 1974, 1978, and 1981. To date, he has published 6 books containing collections of his poetry. Ang Musimos Mismo, Damgo ug Alimungaw, Ang Basahon sa Mga Paggikan, Book of Departures, Prostaner Cabyo. 4. Chinelas nga nalubong sa danaw. 5. Sanglitanan sa kalipay ug kasakit. 6. Earth Alive, Moon Eternal. He was co-editor of 2 books on Cebuano literature, namely Anthology of Cebuano Poetry 1940 to 1988 and Cebuano Fiction 1941 to 2005. 2. Catherine Rose G. Torres, FSO 1, Berlin, PE. Three-time Don Carlos Palanca awardee. 2014, The Rag Picker's Son, third prize short story for children. 2010, Cafe Masala, third prize short story. 2004, Niche, second prize futuristic fiction, English. Scholastic ASEAN Book Award, 2014, Sula's Voyage, finalist. Third, Emmanuel R. Fernandez, Career Minister. Moao, written 4 nonfiction books. 1, A Pathway to Diplomacy. 2, A Sanctuary Without Borders. 3, The God Who Lives Beyond the Temple Walls. 4, Leaving the Priesthood, a close reading of priestly departures. This book won a National Book Award for Theology and Religion and a Gintong Aklat Award for Religion in 2002. 4. J. Eduardo Malaya, CM1, UA. Written 8 books on international law, diplomacy, and the presidency. 1. Treaties, Guidance on Practices and Procedures with Professor Romel J. Casis. 2. Enhancing International Legal Cooperation, Extradition, Mutual Legal Assistance, Transfer of Sentenced Persons, and Cooperation on Transnational Organized Crimes and Narcotic Drugs, Treaties, Laws, and Procedures, with Maria Sheila Monedero Ernesto and Ricardo Paras III. 3. Stewards of the Nation, Aguinaldo to Duterte and their inaugural visions, with Jonathan E. Malaya. 4. Forging Partnerships, Philippine Defense Cooperation under constitutional and international laws, with Maria Antonina Mendoza Oblena. 5. Philippine-Malaysia Agreements, 1962 to 2014, cornerstones of a partnership. 6. Frontlines of Diplomacy, Conversations with Philippine Ambassadors. Book was a finalist in the 2011 National Book Awards. 7. Philippine Treaties Index, 1946 to 2010, with Maria Antonina Mendoza Oblena and Alan Kasupanan. 8. So Help Us God, the Presidents of the Philippines and their inaugural addresses, with Jonathan E. Malaya. A 9th book, Philippine Treaties Index, 1946 to 2019, with Crystal Gale Dampil Mandigma, is due for publication by the UP Law Center. Jose Maria Carino, CM1, TCCP, authored and co-authored 8 books on colonial art. 1. The Life and Works of Luis Ac-Ac of Paete. 2. The Manila Galleon, Crossing the Atlantic, El Galeon de Manila, Cruzando el Atlántico. 3. Mapping the Philippines, Spanish period. 4. Portraits of a Tangled Relationship, the Philippines and the United States. 5. Pearl of the Orient, the Philippines in a Shell. 6. Islas Filipinas, 1663 to 1888. 7. Jose Honorato Lozano, Filipinas, 1847. 8. Discovering Philippine Art in Spain. Number 6. Marciano R. de Borja, CM2, Agana, PCG. Written 4 nonfiction books, namely 1. State Department Boys, Philippine Diplomacy and its American Heritage. Next, Los Vascos and Filipinas. Next, Basques in the Philippines. Next, FSO 4, Starting a Career in the Philippine Foreign Service. 7. Ana Gabriela C. Estimada Ginto, FSSE 3, UX, 2019. Was conferred the Order of Lapu-Lapu rank of Kamagi by President Rodrigo R. Duterte for winning a gold medal in the Women's Team AP fencing event at the 30th Southeast Asia SEA Games held in Manila. Congratulations to our awardees. Now I have the pleasure to read the awardees for the special citation by the Undersecretary for Administration. The awardee shall receive a framed commendation signed by the Undersecretary. 1. Maria Luella C. Duarte, Career Minister, UIR. 2. Vida Soraya S. Versosa, FSO 4, OTLA. 3. Nilo J. G. De Guzman Jr., FSSE 1, ASPAC. 4. Kervin Mon C. Perez, FSSE 1, OCA. 5. Sulaiman Andig Jr., FSSE 2, Rome PE. 6. Richard Z. Roldan, FSSE 2, Tokyo PE. 7. Martin Julius V. Perez, FSSE 3, OAMS. 8. Reynald P. Agit, AO1, CO, Dumaguete. 9. Alec Crisanti A. Arenas, Contractual, Oscar. 10. Teodoro A. Cortez, AO5, CO, Legazpi. 11. Hannah Choa Yu, Security Council Advisor, Local Hire, New York PM. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to this year's recipients for the special awards.
Thank you, Undersecretary Abella, and congratulations to the awardees. Thank you for bringing pride and honor to the department.
As mentioned by the Honorable Undersecretary for Administration, J. Eduardo Malaya, we are pleased to announce that this afternoon we received the signed House Resolution number 1064, congratulating the Department of Foreign Affairs on the celebration of its 122nd founding anniversary and commending its men and women for their selfless and distinguished service to the country and their fellow Filipinos during this time of pandemic, filed by Speaker of the House, Alan Peter S. Cayetano. As we close today's program, we would like to invite all our viewers to watch a video presentation that the department has prepared.
As we celebrate the Foundation Day of the Department of Foreign Affairs today, we pay tribute to each and every person who composes this department, all the more during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
On behalf of the Department of Foreign Affairs, thank you to all our COVID responders both here at the Home Office and out at our Foreign Service posts.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that completes today's program. We wish to thank Secretary Teodoro L. Locsin Jr., Undersecretary J. Eduardo Malaya, and Undersecretary Brigido J. Dulay for joining us today.
Again, congratulations to all our awardees.
We would also like to express our gratitude to everyone for joining us in this milestone event.
Stay healthy and keep safe. Happy DFA Day! Mabuhay po tayong lahat!
Thank you so much, and you make sure they're rewarded, okay? I want a party here. Please. That's a great show. Beautiful job. If this keeps up, that kind of ability to zoom our events here and all over the world, you know what? I think I'll get rid of all the travel budgets and we'll do it all from here.
Thank you so much, sir.